Welcome to TradeTheNBI.com. This is John's reports for the 29th of March. And, well, Friday was some serious action. You know, we talked about these levels here. We had the 76% line. And as we talked about, when you get above these key areas, you want to flip accordingly, at least from the mindset. You can also observe it on the 50K. But got above the 76, then above the ABM yellow, and that sparked a lot of cover, and you can see we crossed above with the bullish setup right there. Orange did dip below green. Green is already crossed, and we were talking about this. It was just going to be a matter of when that up pivot took place, and there it is, and put right back at the highs. Of course, when you get these kind of moves, you usually get anywhere from a third to half retrace, which has already taken place. It was pretty fast, but there was a lot of positive extremes, and we'll show that from a 5K standpoint. From the NASDAQ's viewpoint, still below the 50, but it made it above the 38%. And again, that became threshold, exact same DOC setup from that configuration as well. And you'll see we've made, I have created quite a few changes that have already taken place within the Deocon Paint 2. This is just the regular Deocon for these daily charts for now, but as those adjustments get made, they're going to be incorporated into everything, and we'll just be reducing down to just a couple at the most, which will give us fairly accurate setups for just about everything. I'll show a couple of those a little bit later on in the video here. From a gold standpoint, it's still within weak setup, but the short-term buyers holding this at this particular stage, still pretty ugly from a shakeout standpoint, so it's got a little more work to do to build some momentum to get showing a reflection of some of that inflation. Of course, the euro barely holding on to its dips from before does not look encouraging. Short-term buyers have been enough to hold it up. It's almost identical to what we're seeing from gold, so they're looking pretty similar at this particular stage. From a 5K standpoint, this is a converted version of the Deocon Paint, and the relevance of that, I'll show you at the end of it what we've done. What we're trying to do is eliminate some of the not false, just weak short setups that sometimes occur. You'll see these where these little ones appear where magenta candles would have been otherwise, but have been removed. What we had was gentle rising throughout most of it, and we did get the short setups. We came back and filled the positive extremes pretty quickly. I mean, we had this one going back from right there. It had already been filled, and a lot of them got close to positive, but not quite complete. And when they finally did, we ended up with a few retraces. And so what we had here is these yellow boxes were where there were magentas, and that's really beautiful of what we're trying to avoid here, and allowing those trend setups. What you see from these dot setups would be where new buy configurations are going to set up. And then some of the white with the dotted blues are the beginnings of what start to look like sell signals, but within the refinement of the updated NBI indicator, are going to show new short configurations. So I think that would be exciting, because what you're going to find is even in some of these flat areas, you're still going to be able to get a dip, but it's going to quantify whether or not it's got enough significance to it, and whether it will keep it within the green. And so that's some of the algorithm work that's currently undergoing. But we had some nice retraces within there, and even within the buy configuration. This is something we see a lot with like orange candle setups and that, where you get a little bit of softness before it eventually makes its run. And so what we're looking to do is either capture it earlier and then converting to the sell portion of it, which would be like where this dotted line is, and then it returns back within that buy. And you can see that, as we've talked about, when that white line gets below the 10 and stays there pretty consistently, and we also find that with the blue over the green at that particular stage, you're going to stay in that configuration all the way through, but then as soon as after hours opened, cell signals were pretty clean. Now, if we look at this from a Diocon Paint 2, this is the original on the right candle, and we can see that we're in that Diocon Paint 2 right there. You can see that before we had magenta candles showing up earlier within the setup on these that don't appear on our adjusted. So that's kind of the effect. Actually, I can even show it with Bitcoin. So here's Bitcoin as it is now with the 2A, and you can see that this latest up move, if we just remove Diocon Paint, you can see it changes it and maintains the green status throughout the entire setup with just the 2A on it. So cleaning it up, making it look pretty sweet from a configuration, and we're just going to continue to tighten that up. That'll be part of the new updates. What I've also done for the MBI indicator, and you can look at that one real quick right here. On the inputs, you're just going to be able to turn on or off all the lines. Still have to add the sign one into there as well. And I'll just make it easy. Just flip to a 0 or 1 for the ones that you want to show in that. It's not going to be all that necessary to understand the details of all of these because it's going to be incorporated into the paint colors, but when I have all the parameters lined up, I'll just go over it and give you a text readout, or we can talk about it on a video. The various relationships, because it's a compilation of both DOC as well as Power Mode 2 incorporated with the single indicator to help refine the rotations, and you begin to see with just the movement of them how it mimics market behavior. So exciting stuff, and I think that's just going to add to the confidence level of following these, and certainly when you look at it from a historical standpoint, it's going to be very nice and impressive to look at. So exciting stuff. It's a lot more to go, but continuing to improve it. So that's always the most important aspect of it. As always, though, as updates continue to go on, I will send them out. Everyone should have received already this MBI indicator update, and the Power Mode 2 paint will be just the regular Diocon paint. We'll just have the conversions added into it, so it won't require any changes in your chart. You'll just receive the updated version of it, and it'll all look seamless. So everything happens behind the scenes, and all you're going to get are just the nice, clean reflections of market conditions. And I think that's just the most optimal way to view it. So very excited about that. And as always, I will update the Skype chat. Anything relevant that's taking place, you can see we filled a big chunk of these positive extremes. We had them all the way back to here, and then the earliest ones were right down at this setup, which filled right back there. Very beginning ones on a major cell signal will take us all the way around the 3913. Doesn't look like we're in that configuration just yet, but beautiful from a fill standpoint of that major secondary breakout that took place. Completely recaptured all of it, which is exactly how it works. Beautiful every time. Trade well, and we will certainly, indicators will be going out, so be on the lookout for those, because it's going to transfer over in the middle of the week, and want to be ready for the start of April. Trade well.